This is a part 2 video where I will talk about exercise, how much you should exercise, how to lose weight in an area you don't like belly fat, fat on your hips or arms. I also will talk about gut and the brain and how they link to weight loss and the metabolism. I will cover a little bit about biochemistry and why there is so many diet confusions on a weight loss. I also will explain about intermittent fasting and briefly about ketogenic diet. If you haven't watched part 1, please watch part 1 first and then to come to part 2. How much do we need to exercise in order to lose weight? What specific exercise can target the fat you don't want? Is high intensity interval training better than moderate speed exercise? Are weights better than cardio? I will explain in a minute. If we are not exercising, we still can lose weight. I have no doubts. But only if you consume your BMR calories per day. I did explain what BMR means at part 1, so watch that first. One thing I can say that it's not going to be easy even if you stick to your diet 100%. There will be at times that you will want to have a treat and obviously you will go over your calorie intake. Then it might not finish with that one treat only, because your first treat probably will have a significant spike in insulin and your hunger hormone will go over the roof. I talked about hunger hormone, Ghrelin and Leptin at the part 1. Please watch part 1. After eating high-fat, sugary food, Ghrelin will punch you in the head at almost 30 to 45 minutes each time you have another treat. At the end of the day, you will consume way more than you should and the trigger will be that high sugary treat you had that morning or afternoon. Then you will say to yourself that you're trying again tomorrow, and tomorrow you will have a fewer calories because you indulged today. But the problem is that the more you say to your brain you cannot have it, the stronger you'll want to eat that particular food. The best is to choose the food I suggest in the part 1 video. If you haven't watched this video, please watch that one first. If you choose high prebiotic fiber foods, you will feel fuller as it will give you bulkiness to your meal. So keep this in mind what I said, as we will refer to it later. You probably know that we all benefit from exercise. Doesn't matter what kind of exercise. We need exercise to keep our brain active, memory sharp, arteries and lymphatic system clear. By the way, our liver benefits massively when we exercise. Maybe I should do a video later on the liver. What's your suggestion? I will say it again, it doesn't matter what kind of exercise as long as you move. Go for a walk, jog, bike, go to spin classes, body pump, body combat. There are tons of classes and gyms is open. Or take your dog and go to the park. Play with kids.
But if you want to have body definition and muscle gain or training for a specific sport, then there are different types of exercise and intensity.
Exercise may reduce inflammation that can happen in the future, as well as give you some sort of inflammation for a short period of time. That when you're recovering from a heavy training session, whether it's weight training or cardio.
You may not need the same amount of time and energy for recover from walking in a park
as you would bike for an hour at moderate or high speed, but you will burn much more calories riding a bike or doing a spin class than walking in a park. Walking is very good. You probably burn 150 to 200 calories in 1 hour. It's 150 to 200 calories just walking 1 hour. And then you can have a portion of that extra food For that, 150 to 200 calories. If you have a hard cardio session like a spin bike, running, boxing, HIIT training for an hour, then you might burn 500 calories plus. And then you can allow the treat for that amount of calories you just burned. But then don't expect you will lose weight by the end of the week if you will burn lots of calories every day on a cardio and then eat the same amount of calories or more. This example applies to cardio only. You burn much more calories by doing cardio than weight training. You don't burn the same amount of calories on a weight training day. I train hard, very hard. Clients who see how I'm training, they call me Russian insane woman. I train very hard, whether it's weight training or cardio. On the weight training day, on my hard session, I probably burn around 200 to 250 calories. Max. That's max. And I don't see often that people actually training hard on their weight training day. They might think it's hard, but I can see chatting there, chatting here, having lots of rest. It's not hard. Hard, I mean harder than the last time. My hard training day, when you leave the gym and all body is shaking, or a specific muscle group is shaking, that it's hard to walk, or simply as lifting my massive cup of coffee or tea or water. You can see how big is my cup. It's massive and it's 1.5 kilos. That's with liquid. It's actually really heavy. On the days when I'm training my upper body, on the next day to lift my cup of coffee, it's an effort. Trust me, it's an effort. It's like weight training with just less weights. So, how much should you exercise? It depends on what is your goal. Do you want to do light exercise just to keep your body moving and burn little calories? Or do you want to exercise to get ready for specific sport? Or do you want to tone your body? If you want to do the light exercise, you will not burn a lot of calories, meaning you will have to limit those food treats you want. You can do 30 minutes to an hour of exercise a day, every other day. Walking you probably can do every day, and if you have a dog, that's even better. And if you have a kids, then you'll be very active. But some people not. So I don't know how active you are with your kids. When I'm talking about myself, I'm very active with my 3 kids. If you want to train for a specific sport, then you will have to work very hard in the gym to get to the body shape you see yourself for that particular competition if you compete. And that could involve cardio and weightlifting, or both, 4, 5, 7 days a week. In some cases could be training twice a day. Cardio in the morning and weights in the evening, like I did for my first prep. It's not easy, and especially it's hard when you have 3 kids. But when people want something very bad, you have to want it really bad. They can do anything and nothing can stop them. If you are a woman and want to get toned after pregnancy, then training 3-4 times a week, 1 hour session will work perfectly. If you are a person who loves to eat high-calorie food, then you will have to exercise every day, and the main exercise I suggest is cardio for 1 hour or more. Then you can have the food you like, but it has to be within your calorie intake. Don't assume that you can bike for an hour at moderate intensity and can have 1 medium pizza. It's not going to work. You might need 1.5 hours of bike to burn those calories from pizza. But if you like donuts, then after each donut you have to do cardio for 1 hour. How do you like that, cookies? You have to say to yourself, why do you want to exercise? Remember, thermodynamics always apply. If you want to get rid of your belly and do lots of abdominal exercises, you'll be disappointed. You will be disappointed, unfortunately. Because it doesn't work like this. I wish, but it doesn't. You cannot target fat loss. Otherwise, all bodybuilders would know about it and would do it, and I will be the first one who would do it all the time. If you want to lose weight in a particular area of your body, then you have to exercise all body and watch your calories. Exercise whole body and watch your calories. Simple. If you eat your BMR calories a day and exercise, you will definitely lose weight. I see some people disagree with me and say that they count calories but still cannot lose weight. But then, as I said in my first video, when clients send me my MyFitnessPal food, they add and picture of what they add, I can see straight away that they consume more calories on the pictures and don't record properly on my MyFitnessPal. It's not their fault because they trust what label says, but labels can be wrong. You have to weigh food to be accurate if you want to be accurate with calories. I personally don't count every single calories, but I approximately know how much I consume, and if I can be wrong, I know that the amount of exercise I do, I burn lots of calories. I also take photo of myself weekly and I see my progression. I weigh myself, but sometimes scale can say one thing and photo another. I personally like to see photo and see my progression through the photos rather than trusting the scale. I don't count macros, fats, carbs, protein, because I know I eat enough of everything. Calories in, calories out, that's simple. People these days concentrating too much on protein or on a specific fat diet. Some eat lots of fats and some eat fewer fats. Some eat lots of animal protein and some don't eat animal protein at all or anything from the animal. Currently, I'm learning about biochemistry and human physiology, how the biochemical changes relate to physiological alteration in the body. I started to study biochemistry because I believe that this subject is missing or not enough materials when you study to be a dietitian or nutritionist. Majority fitness coaches don't know about biochemistry at all. That's why there is so many confusions about diets. Why today one thing is healthy and 2 weeks later the same food can be evil. I also believe that if you want to ask someone about diet and what's healthy, what's not, ask biochemist. They know much more than maybe any dietitian or nutritionist. The more I'm learning about biochemistry, the more I understand and see why there is a confusion about food, diet, and why one dietitian says one thing and you ask another dietitian, they will say completely different story. I also think that biochemistry, that it's an important subject to learn for general practitioners, doctors, because what we eat is important if we want health complications in the future or to avoid being on medications for life. There are some exceptions, and food plays a big part. In addition, I met GPs who doesn't know how to read full biochemistry blood test and prescribe medication for a completely healthy person. Okay, this may be for another videos. I'm getting wound up now. Now I understand why I failed by following a vegetarian diet, vegan diet, ketogenic diet, Dukan diet, intermittent fasting diet, and the list can goes on and on. One thing I can say that we need fats, carbohydrates and protein. I'm not against vegan or vegetarian or any other beliefs, but we need animal product if I look from biochemistry standpoint. Some people believe that the fasting diet is a way to go for a life, but I disagree with this. There are some health benefits like with all diets, but not much. The main thing that people do fasting to raise their autophagy. I read about it, I know about it. I will briefly say what autophagy is. Autophagy may help you to live longer and healthier. That's what people believe. Yes, fasting does help you by recycling dead or broken cells and renew some brain cells, but you can do this by eating your last meal at 8 p.m. and your next meal at 8 a.m. This way you will reach the autophagy level easily. But if you want to increase autophagy by 300%, then don't eat for 48 hours. I don't promote not eating. It's wrong. It leads to eating disorder. Thomas DeLauer and Dr. Berg, the gurus about fasting and ketogenic diets. I used to follow them and I do watch their videos sometimes. They have great videos, you can check them out. But my favorite is Greg Doucette. Greg Doucette is a real guy who talks sense, who don't bullshit like some do. I don't say that Thomas DeLauer or Dr. Berg bullshit, no. They believe that ketogenic diet and autophagy is great. I don't believe this anymore. I used to, but I don't now. Okay, let's say you do intermittent fasting and you want to gain muscle mass. By not eating, you will break down existing muscle mass and fats and you will increase the stress level. Thomas DeLauer in one of his videos said that you will not lose muscle mass on a fasting days. I disagree with this. I used to agree with this. The more I'm learning about biochemistry and human physiology, I understand more why fasting and keto is wrong. So, by not eating, you will break down existing muscle and fat and you will increase stress level. By increasing stress level, cortisol, in a way it's not a great idea because Ghrelin hormone will go mad after you start eating. Your leptin hormone that's responsible for satiety will be not satisfied at any amount of food you give. You will want to eat and you will not have that stop button. Maybe the first day you could be okay, but day 2 you will go crazy on food. Maybe day 3, but you will go crazy on food. It will be harder to control your appetites and cravings will be wow. I used to do intermittent fasting and my longest was 36 hours. You can check this video. I felt great first day till 5 p.m. but then it was hard to control. The next day my ketones were high and it's not a good indication like people think. I thought it's good at that time, but now knowing more about biochemistry, ketones are okay for a short period of time to survive. For more details, check my video about keto and low carb diet. I put the link at the description below too. I hope I answer all your questions about what diet do we need and how much exercise should we do. But if you have any questions, please comment below or email me on the email you see on your screen. Also check my website. It's still in process, but hopefully it will be fully working the next month. If you have any suggestions on future video, please comment below. I like it when you comment. I always read your comments and reply. It makes me happy. If you think I should change something on my videos to improve, please comment below. I'm new to YouTube, so I'm doing baby steps. To support this channel, please press like and subscribe. Maybe sharing this video on your social media may help others to understand about diet and exercise more. I hope it was educational and entertaining. I hope you enjoyed part 1 and part 2. Thank you for watching this video and bye.